Welcome to Real Estate with Real Faces, where homes meet hometown heroes. We're your trio behind the transaction. I'm Claire Springer, a realtor.
I'm Ashley Four, a lender.
And I'm Lindsay Michael, a title rep, bringing you real conversations with real people in our community.
From local business owners to everyday neighbors, we're spotlighting the faces behind the places and the stories behind the sold signs.
So grab your coffee, pull up a chair, and let's talk life, business, and all things real estate with a personal twist. Welcome back to Real Estate with Real Faces. This is episode 3. Hey. All right, so for this episode, what we're going to talk about is we're going to discuss some of the misconceptions or the myths for each of our fields. Some of those things that you may think, oh yeah,
I can do
for
without
sure.
that.
And then you're like,
Guess
we're
what?
going to learn today.
I was just kidding.
Yeah. Do you guys want? One of you guys want to start? Or you want me to start?
I feel like you should start
I'll start.
because that's kind of where, where would you think that the transaction process starts?
I think you should always start with getting pre-approved first.
I think so too.
Okay, we're all in agreement then.
Ashley.
All right, then Miss Ashley.
Okay, a couple things I want to talk about. The first one being that you need 20% down payment. You don't. The magical 20% is so you don't have to have mortgage insurance. That's it.
Is that the
Okay.
PMI?
Yeah,
So
the PMI. Yep.
So if you place 20% down on a property, you don't have to have PMI.
Exactly.
And PMI makes your house payment, or your
A little bit
mortgage
more.
payment, a little bit higher.
And it just depends on, there's various factors on how much your mortgage insurance is every month. It depends on your credit. It depends on how much you've put down. It depends
Okay.
on the purchase price, etc.
Okay.
But putting 20% down, in most cases, that's just going to
Not
eliminate
required.
your PMI. Now, for an FHA loan, the minimum down payment is 3.5% of the purchase price. However, if you're worried about the PMI, that's for the life of the loan. On a FHA, you have upfront,
Okay.
and you also have monthly PMI for the whole life of the loan. A VA loan, you can have as little as 0% down if you are a veteran that qualifies for that.
Right.
And then for just a regular conventional loan, if you are a first-time home buyer, as little as 3%.
Yeah.
If you are not a first-time home buyer, the minimum is 5%. So you don't have to
Huge
have
difference.
this huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say,
You
five
can.
5% is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Depending on the house you're buying, it is a lot of money for somebody to save up.
Right.
But you're not going to have that 20%.
But I
that
mean,
you
for
thought.
math's sake, like if you're buying $100,000 property, 5%, $5,000 versus 20% at $20,000, that's
Exactly.
a lot.
It's a lot of money. That's a big
asset
difference.
liquidation that you may have to do,
Yep.
or things like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, now there's also obviously like closing costs on top of that. But
sorry.
well, title fees and,
Yeah.
and we charge fees too. We have
Yeah.
origination fees. The realtors have their own
Yep.
fees.
Yeah.
So it's
Everyone
like,
has fees.
and those fees can be sometimes negotiated. Of that,
100%.
that the seller pays part of it or all of it or whatever.
Now, can your guys' fees as a loan entity be ever negotiated? I know you can
With
buy
us?
down your rate and stuff like that, but I mean, like the fees that you actually charge, not what's included for them.
They can be negotiated in the deal
Okay.
for somebody else to pay, but generally we don't change our fees,
Right.
if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
We can and we will sometimes, depending on the situation.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's going to help out the buyer significantly, if it's going to like break the deal,
yeah.
then sometimes we will make exceptions and
Yeah.
change their fees.
I feel like all
Yeah, for sure.
That's
So-
just how it is.
So
But
yeah,
it's-
you don't have to have tens of thousands of dollars down to buy a house, and I think that's a barrier that some people don't think that they can get past.
Right.
Plus, there's a lot of down payment assistance programs.
Especially when you're
That's what I was just
using
about to say.
those websites to help you, like the house search, the home search websites and
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
When you're putting in a monthly payment, they're already generated at 20%.
Right.
Which some people don't even know
Yeah.
to go and switch that and
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah,
Because
that's
some people
a
get
good point.
scared just by
Yeah.
looking at those websites, like, oh my gosh, I can't afford that. Well, wait a second.
Yeah.
Actually.
Like just
Yeah.
talk to somebody.
Yeah.
even if it's not me, talk to a lender about,
anything.
Yeah, anything. Like
first steps.
First steps, get your credit pulled, see what it looks like, because it's not just your score.
Okay, but you said that really scary word that people freak out about. Pulling your credit. Pulling your credit. People are fine if we're pulling up our Credit Karma app and we're doing that, but like,
because that's a softball, it doesn't affect your credit.
You say, okay, we need to pull your credit, and for whatever reason, everyone is like, oh, no.
And I get that.
It doesn't
hurt
your credit score
as much as you think it does.
No.
And also, if you are ready to start shopping for a house, get your credit pulled, because that 30 days, you have 30 days to get your credit pulled by all kinds of lenders after that for a mortgage inquiry. So if you're getting your credit pulled for a mortgage, because it shows that,
right,
you can go to other lenders if you want to shop around.
So they could get that sheet printed off,
and
it
won't affect. No, they won't give
or
it
they
to
can
you.
just pull it up.
They'll pull it.
Okay.
But it won't affect your credit.
Yep.
But it's not.
days.
But it's not the same. So like, if you do a home loan, they're like, "Oh, well, I got my credit pulled. Let's go look at cars."
No,
it doesn't work. They'll pull it again.
You don't want to do that anyway.
Right.
You don't want to be doing that.
Saying I could see how people would think.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh.
No. So if it's for a real estate transaction, you have 30 days for any other real estate like lending to pull your credit, and it won't affect you. So
that's good to know.
That's a big deal. The credit is one of the biggest factors. Obviously, your credit and your income. That's just the biggest parts of it, but it's not just your score. A lot of people think it's just your score.
Right.
It's your DTI. It's your score. It's your credit history.
Debt to income ratio.
Debt to income. So, credit history as well. So if you've been late on things for, if you've had this many X amount of lates in the last 2 years, like, you might not qualify.
Right.
So it's something to look at. I've done a lot of credit pulls for people that I've not done anything with, because I want to look at their situation and tell them, okay, this is what we need.
Right.
And I've had people say, well, what can I do to make this better?
Right,
and sometimes it's just time. And that sucks.
No one wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear
There's
it.
no there's
But
no like
you
fast
have
fix
to get
for that.
past, like, if you've been 30 days late on your mortgage payment, you have to give that 2 years, or I can't exactly remember, but I think it's like 2 years, depending on the loan program too, because FHA is different than conventional, and VA is different than USDA, and it's just, there's a lot of
Little
ifs.
things, I
well,
feel like.
it depends.
Yeah,
people ask me all the time,
like,
well, what's
little
your
hiccups
rate?
that could happen. Almost.
I can give you what the lowest rate is, but that's
that doesn't
it.
mean it's gonna be your rate.
I have to look at the whole situation. So, the 20% down, definitely a myth. What was the other one I was going to talk about?
Pre-approvals.
Pre-approvals versus pre-qualifications. Yes.
Yeah.
At my company, we only do pre-approvals, which basically that is taking just the borrower and not the house, just the borrower, and fully underwriting them. So we get all your documentation, your W-2s, your taxes, your pay stubs, your bank statements. We look at all of that, send it. Well, sometimes I can just approve it, and depending on the situation, I might have to have somebody else approve it. So that's like actually verifying things. A pre-qualification basically just goes by what you tell us.
Okay.
You can say, oh yeah, I make about this much. I work this many hours, or there's no verification of any of it. So we can say, okay, we can pre-qualify you for this amount.
Taking everything that you're saying as facts.
Like,
this
as face
is what
value.
It would be.
Now, so a pre-approval is a lot more valuable.
Oh
than
yeah,
a
of course.
pre-qualification.
Oh yeah, just from my standpoint.
Yeah,
I mean,
for you, for
using
sure.
a pre-approval, you're going to have a stronger offer. One, two, because I've had a situation where somebody came in with a pre-qual, we wrote an offer, even though I had discussed it with them, and then things happened where they had to change and get some gifting and such like that because they only had the pre-qual, they didn't have the pre-approval.
Yep.
So
it's much more valuable. Again, it's maybe a bit more of a process than people want to do, and yes, we ask for a lot of documentation.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're not like and some people get nervous about us looking at their bank statements.
Yeah.
And I get that. I definitely get that, but I'm not judging you for the things that you buy.
Right.
I'm not going to judge you because you go to Taco Bell every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, I would do that if I could. But, you know, like, so, you know, stuff like that. It's like,
Ranch.
I just, you know, it's regulations. We just have to have it. We have to look at it, and if you want to buy a house, you have to give it to us.
I get that. I do. From a title perspective, I get that. Because we double verify everything. So you've already asked for every single thing, plus, like, their firstborn kid.
Right, exactly.
And we're like, verify it all.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
What?
Again.
I've done this 10 times, and I'm like, not to us, you haven't.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh.
It's just, like, what had happened before.
Yeah.
Like, it just, regulations put in place to hopefully not have that happen again.
Yeah, literally.
You know, so it's like, yeah, it feels intrusive, but nobody's judging you if that's what you're worried about.
Right.
Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna remember.
No, literally. Like no one's going to remember. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I need this information for as long as it's pertinent to this transaction.
And that's it.
Then that's it.
And then I don't care what you do.
And if you want me to get you into a home, I need to get into your finances.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And also, I guess this is more of a tip, but don't, like, buy a car. Don't buy a car.
I had somebody do that as well.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do it the day after you close.
Yes.
Or
God,
even that
don't
day.
even do that.
Just that day.
From a freaking title perspective,
okay.
don't even.
Don't even do that?
48 hours
Okay,
at least.
okay.
Just give us time to get the documents to the government.
Got it.
48 hours is
Yep.
what we legally have.
There we
After
go.
that, buy whatever your
Go
heart
ahead, dude.
desires.
Do whatever you want.
You grown up. But no, so then after they would get the pre-approval or the pre-qualification, what would be, they would go
To
to you.
go to the realtor. Yep. Go to the realtor, show houses, have the letter. Here you go.
Yep.
So then let's hop on over to you.
So, all right. Some myth about that is that that's all we do, right? As realtors, you
open doors.
Yeah. I just put a key in, open the door. Hi, want to buy the house? Yeah.
No, okay, let's go.
Right. So no, we do way more than that. Obviously, in the last episode, I talked about how late I stay up, right? So I'm looking at the houses.
And you have children. Let's
She's got small children. Very small children.
Yes. Babies. Tiny children.
Yeah, littles.
Not self-sufficient babies.
Yeah. Not at all. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously we're not just opening a door, right? We are negotiating for you. We're conversing with the other agent.
Yep.
We talk to the lender. We talk to the title. We are talking, obviously, to you to try and schedule things out. We're talking to the inspector when you're doing inspections so that we know what's going on with the inspection. Sometimes we might be present for inspections.
Yep.
We're scheduling photos if you're listing a house with us.
Right.
So we can get those scheduled. Sometimes I've gone above and beyond where I had a client, we were getting photos done, and I knew that in some of the photos, there were, it wasn't as clean as I would have liked. So I took out that mop, and I took out the cleaning supplies, and I started cleaning that for the photographer so it could be as beautiful as possible. We host open houses, which, we're doing our own marketing. We're paying people to market. We're putting it out on our social media. We're doing a lot more than just opening a door.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we also have to pay for all of those services to even open the door. So that lockbox, we have to pay for access to that lockbox. To even put it out on our MLS, the multiple listing services, we have to pay for that. To have even any of these legal documents, which we have to fill in and make sure that we're due diligent on this. Because if you, just for example, on, you have to write in all of the items that are included in the sale.
Yeah.
Let's say I didn't include the refrigerator. Okay.
Right.
I didn't write in that the refrigerator needed to be included. And my clients wanted the refrigerator. But when they went to move in, refrigerator was gone.
Yeah.
Whose mistake is that? That's my mistake.
Right.
Because I didn't include it.
So then would you
Yeah, it would be on
the hook
me.
for...
It would be on me to replace and
or
turn in that
financially,
refrigerator. Yes. So we have to check over
It's a lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, we have to check over all of those documents and make sure that they're written correctly. And also, I'm doing my due diligence where I'm communicating with my clients. So usually when we write an offer or write a listing agreement, I'm either with them in person or I'm giving them a phone call saying, okay, please open up your computer. Let's go through this together.
Yeah.
Right.
So that way we know what I have put in. I know we've already discussed it, but I want to make sure that when you're signing it, you're agreeing to these terms
Right.
too,
Right.
and that I'm not missing anything. So yeah, there's a lot more than what we're doing than
Yeah.
obviously what you're seeing.
Yeah.
The other misconception is I don't need a realtor. I'm going to list it FSBO, for sale by owner.
Oh God. My dad did that.
Yeah, my favorite. Listen, go try.
I could never. I could never do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There's people out there that have had success, but also when I say success, meaning like, great, you sold your house.
Right.
However, you may have left money on the table. So a lot of the times when I'm seeing for sale by owner houses, you also don't have all of those tools I just said. You're not usually using a photographer. You're not usually putting it out on the MLS. So unless I, as a realtor, am I checking Zillow for sale by owners because that's specifically on,
it's
those
a
home
checkbox.
search websites.
Right.
I'm not necessarily going to see it. So therefore, my clients are not necessarily going to see it if they're not looking for it because they're wanting me to go find the houses for them. And then sometimes, yes, I have seen and shown for sale by owner houses because either my clients have came past it, or maybe I've driven past on the street and seen
saw it, yeah.
a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went and find it.
I will stop at those sometimes from a title perspective because they still need title
Yeah.
and they need a lot of
Yeah.
help when it comes to title. So
Yeah.
I made a flyer specifically,
And if
like
we
I'll
go
give it
and
to
bring your,
FSBOs.
the only issue is also too is when we go and bring that buyer to your listing, you're not going to be able to use our documents,
Right.
which are legal documents. So you may be coming back with a document that you may have found on the
Somewhere.
internet that is not accurate,
Yeah.
outdated,
Yep.
not a legal document, something that someone has created. And now you're opening yourself up to legality issues
Yeah,
because
100%.
you were not being represented.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if, in my opinion, I see a lot of FSBOs that are, well, we don't want to pay a real estate agent.
That's exactly.
But
I
then
think that's
also,
exactly
like-
why people don't want.
Well,
to.
and the
Yeah.
funny thing is, like, they say they don't want to pay a real estate agent, but then it's like, well, if you were paying the real estate agent, one, commission's negotiable. You can discuss, hey, this is what I need to net, and I'm sure a real estate agent is going to help you.
Yeah.
Right? But also, a lot of the times, they're using those home searches to try and figure out what best their house should be priced at.
Right.
Whereas
But
then
they don't know
I'm
how to
going to
do
go
it.
in and I'm going to see things that are sold. Yeah, and I've already been trained on how to look for comps.
And you don't have the emotional attachment to
Exactly.
that dwelling.
Yes.
Well, I think it's worth this.
yeah.
and-
And I'm going to accurately tell you, and more than likely it's going to sell faster than what it will sell
Right.
than if you listed
Right.
it.
For sure.
And sometimes you're listing it lower, and if we listed it higher, now you're coming out what you even wanted because after commission, after fees and such that you didn't want to pay originally,
Right.
you're actually making maybe
More.
the same, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
in the end,
It's all about knowledge.
yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Not just being cheap.
Well, and
because
yeah,
you, don't
you
wanna pay a
wouldn't
realtor.
necessarily send your kids
Right.
to somebody who has never taught a day in their life
Right.
and just like that's never taught. You'd rather have somebody who has taught
Yep.
and or has had the educational background that with a teaching degree
Right.
to teach your child than someone who has
Found something on the internet, like a
Yeah.
lesson
Yeah.
plan. Here's some papers.
Right.
Yeah.
Do them.
Printed off
and I'm gonna
lesson
I'm
plan
gonna
from
hope that
Etsy.
you're gonna move up in your grade level
Yeah,
next year. Like
right.
it's,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
essentially the same.
Yeah.
And then also with the real estate fees and lender fees, obviously you're going to have some title fees. And we're going to help you obviously discuss talking with title what needs to be turned in. I mean, like, I'm going to handle all the turning in the paperwork.
People don't
too,
even
for
know
title.
in the transaction what title is.
No, they don't.
Like your clients, they don't. They know us as, oh, we're gonna go sign papers.
Yes,
That's where we sign
and
papers.
take your
And
picture.
hey, you know what? Honestly, like,
Yep.
it's great that they think it's that easy.
Yes.
But it's
It's not. There's
It's
so
not.
many wheels turning and gears moving.
Yeah, because when so like you think of it, it's like trickling down the transaction process, right? Like the lender has done all of their stuff, the real estate has done everything under the sun to give it to where we are now. And then the title company is presented with just a giant
Pile.
pile of
from both sides.
from both sides.
Yep.
Here,
Yes.
lender,
Here you
here
go.
and then here I am.
Guys. And then our job, not mine specifically, but title, is to just investigate, figure it all out, see who goes where, what needs to be figured out, basically. And it goes through the processing stage, and we have a processor who calls everyone. And I mean, I love my ladies in general because especially there's two in particular that I'm thinking of where if they don't get an answer like via email or text or they're not getting someone's call, they will show up. They will leave the office and go to the place and be like, we've been waiting for 2 days, where's our stuff? And they'll
I
sit
love
at the
that.
county city building and just wait. Like, they don't care. So I love that.
That's awesome.
But, like, once that, you know, there's not only the correspondence and the navigating of all the legalities, but, like, we don't represent buyers or sellers. We represent the legal process of the transaction and just complete neutrality. We're like a Switzerland, if you will, for everything. But a lot of the time what happens is you hear the myth from a title, you know, perspective, especially when people are going to list their houses. Like, oh, I've only had one mortgage. We don't need title. We don't need to search the property, like, for any, and I was like,
You do, though.
well, I was like, see, if you didn't build that house and you, like, are not a financial advisor or, like, a loan officer or a real estate, and I don't trust that. Like, I just don't. And even if you are, there are so many government subsidies, if you will, that you cannot know that you have, a lien or a title, a lien on anything. So, from the title perspective, again, a huge myth is that you don't need preliminary title work or you don't need title work at all because I'm the only owner. We've only had one mortgage. I've never pulled out a HELOC. We've never refinanced.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There was this wonderful thing in 2020 that happened called COVID, and everyone at some point had assistance. Honestly, I feel like at some point someone got a stimulus check over the course of everything that was happening. And some of those stimulus checks were accidents, and you weren't supposed to get them. And instead of the government being like, I'm so sorry, we made a mistake, enjoy your free $1,000, but it won't be happening again, they just put a lien on the properties.
I didn't know they did that.
I didn't know either.
So there, if you were getting any sort of like housing assistance, anything like that, it was not free. It was just tacked on to the backside of your loan, or it was added on as a lien.
That's what happened with my refi borrowers.
Yeah.
And I think did we talk about that
Yes.
in the pod? Yeah.
Yes.
They had two.
They had two, and they were like,
HUD
"Wait, what?
They didn't know.
What's
They
a
had
HUD
no
lien?"
idea.
We had no,
Yeah.
and that's
And
exactly
it was
what
a lot of money.
Yes, and it can switch whether or not we're buying a house.
Yep.
It can switch whether or not you're selling a house within 20 minutes of us getting your file.
Yep.
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
tell. So, like, from a title perspective, again, if you're doing a listing, if you have listings, you as an agent, please, for the love of everyone's sanity, not only mine, but, like, run preliminary title work. Get a scope on what you're doing. Another thing, like you were talking about fees. If you're going to buy a house, you're going to pay fees. Like, that's just how it is. We live in America. There's taxation on everything. There's fees on everything. We can't send our own money to ourselves without paying a fee. So it's not going to be any different in the housing industry. It's just a little more sucky because we're working with bigger quantities of money and percentages. That means bigger forkouts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We do, however, in my opinion, I know you guys do a lot, and you guys do a lot. My fees are super important because we have a team of people trying to make sure that not only is this property legal, but that no one from that point on can ever come after you and your family.
Exactly. I was going to say,
and that's the part that people don't understand.
They don't understand what title insurance is.
Because it's not tangible.
Yep.
There's no certificate. When you're like insurance, you don't have a little card that you show someone. It's just a policy that you take out. And I actually had a question from a loan officer yesterday, and she's like, hey, so, do you ever have to take out an additional policy when you refi or you pull out a HELOC or anything like that? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, someone said that you did. I was like, no, because this is the only type of insurance that you would purchase where it is a one-time fee for the entire length that you own that property. So let's say you took out a policy when you first bought that property and you are 50 years into that house and you have crazy equity and you're like, all right, we're going to do something with it. You don't have to take out a new policy. You don't have to pay those fees again.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and if you go with the same title company, at least my title company does this, we give you a discount for returning.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where, like, we appreciate also the fact that, like, you would be willing be willing to use the same title company after that long. But yeah, there's no additional fees, there's no anything like that we would charge you if you were doing a HELOC or a refi.
Okay.
I do firmly believe that our fees are pretty subpar to what you're getting. Like you're gonna pay.
They're minimal for what you're getting.
Exactly, like because you're getting a piece of mind,
Right.
and it really. And I know that insurance companies say that, like, oh, your health insurance, it's gonna give you a peace of mind. You want the best eye insurance, and it's not like that. We don't continuously gain money off of you when you're doing things on your house or the monthly payments. So it really is honestly one of the best insurance policies in my opinion that you can buy because it is strictly for your benefit and no one else's.
Exactly.
And I didn't really realize this, but until you get into it and you kind of see all the working parts from behind the scenes, like, we're the only part of the transaction that you legally have to have. Yeah. Like even with for sale by owners and stuff like that. Like,
that's true.
Right.
If you have the money, you don't have to.
People can buy a house cash. You don't have to have a lender. They can do FSBOs and you don't need a real estate agent. Right. And we will say that people do that. And it's awesome. And if you can do that and it's working out for you, by all means. However, if not, we have some very talented real estate people in our community.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. And you'll it's just silly to cut your nose off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would even tell people, go ahead and shop around.
Yeah.
I've gone to listing appointments and buyer consults where I'm like, hey, I get it, this is our first time meeting, and you may not necessarily trust me right away, but give me, a day. I'll even prove to you in a day what I can do for you.
Yeah.
But, like, if you, maybe my personality just doesn't mesh well with your personality, and I can respect that.
And that's the thing. It's like everybody has a different personality.
I'm not that person that I'm going to be upset.
If you're not someone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
me either. We all fit with different people. Yeah. And there's so many different types of people out there.
Yes.
And I think that is why it's good to know your affiliates, know your agents, know who you're working with, because like my job, people get a little bit confused about what my position in the title company actually is. They're like, do you actually work up the files? Are you escrow? Do you close? Like, what do you do? Yeah. And like, that's not, there's so many different parts of it that like my job in particular is to put out fires, like if there's, or try and foresee the stuff coming down the line. Like when you get in the title report, I'm like, hey, check this line, like make sure all this is good, like XYZ. It doesn't always happen like that, but obviously like just trying to see as much in the forefront as we can.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, lots of myths about title.
Indeed. So many myths. We could probably keep going on and on about the types of different myths and stuff in our real estate.
But these are our confessions.
Confession time.
Yes.
All right. So confession.
Last week I cried in the bathroom because I thought I sucked at my job. That's a confession.
There you go. You don't.
Yeah. But then literally someone messaged me and they're like, hey, I really appreciate you. And I was like, oh, thanks. So yeah, that's a confession
awesome.
from last
There you
week.
go.
It was embarrassing though. I was alone. So I was only embarrassed with myself. But
But now you're telling everybody.
now
everybody
everyone knows. So cried in the bathroom, guys.
It happens.
It happens.
It does.
The girl.
Listen, last week I decided to ball myself up and put a blanket on, and I got a text message and it was like, what are you doing? I was like, I just can't today.
I'm cocooned. What do you mean?
There's
It was
nothing to
a
be done.
rough day.
Hibernation season is coming.
Yes, it was a rough day. I needed to just
Light a candle, cozy
just
yourself.
read
and
a book.
just-
I had to read my book.
Yes, love that for you.
So
A few weeks ago, I had to talk myself out of trying to find a different job. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Stop it.
I'm done with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But I knew going into this job that it takes. I
some
haven't
time.
even been doing this for a year, so
know,
yeah.
I know it takes time. But
Yeah.
I think I just got overwhelmed because I am. Funnily, after that, like the day after that, I started getting more stuff like coming down the
That's
line.
always how it works.
It's always.
but
Or when you go on vacation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
But-
But the last time I went on vacation, it was like, oh, this was so relaxing. Like the very last day, it was like clear,
Bing,
beep,
bing,
beep,
bing,
beep.
bing,
I
bing.
was like, oh,
Welcome back to the
okay,
real
I'll be
world.
back in like 2
I
days.
know, yeah, and so I think most of it is because I don't want to have a second job.
Yeah.
I don't hate my second job.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fun. I have a good time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm 40 and serving
Well,
is
and you miss
for young
you miss
people.
Things. Well, you miss things too.
Yeah, I
within-
miss
within
things.
like our field because you
Yes.
have to go and do your
Unless
stuff
if I
too,
know about
sometimes.
it, if I know about it ahead of time, and
Yeah,
then I can request
right.
off, and it's not a big deal. But
Right.
you know, some things come up
Oh, yeah.
last minute, and it's
Yeah.
like
Like I literally sitting here during this, I just got invited to something that's this week.
yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, my schedule is packed like 2 weeks in advance. But I
Yes.
really want to go to this.
Yeah.
So like that's where having a second job would be like
It's tough,
was
but
tough,
but
you
I
know?
need to do it until I really start establishing myself.
Yeah.
And I'm
They
the
say it
next to
takes
Maria Rote because she is busy all the time.
all the time. She's got it.
But she's really good at it. So
Hey, that
and
just
she's
means-
been doing it for a while.
You know what
now.
that means
Exactly.
though? That just means that you have someone really awesome in your office
Yep.
that you can ask really good questions to.
Yes.
You can observe how she talks to her clients, copy, repeat until you make it your own.
Exactly.
You know, like so. I don't know. I
I
love
have a lot of
having
good people around me.
I love
so.
having people around me that are doing better than me, which sounds weird, you know, because like sometimes
You
you,
can
get
aspire
your
to
feels
it.
and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dang, why do I'm not as good as them?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
this
I love
sucks.
asking
Like,
people.
ugh.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to know. Like whenever I ask, like, how did you get that client? It's not to be like, why is it?
Why
are
are
they
they
not
not
you
mine?
and not me? Mine
Yeah.
is always like,
How
what did you do to
What was
get
your
somebody?
angle? Yeah,
like I don't
yeah.
need to know their names. I don't need any information. It was just like, what can I do
Yeah.
better?
Right.
To what other ideas? Maybe you did something that
Yeah.
I've never even thought of.
That's literally
It's
the
how
sales
I
rep
work.
from Near North who literally has just been like killing it. She's been in the game for Near North about 6 months longer than I have, and she's down like Fort Wayne, Warsaw area. And she messaged me like 2 weeks ago. She goes, "Hey, I really want to get together with you and pick your brain because I think you do some really cool stuff up there, and like I want a copy." And I was like,
Me?
I was like, oh my god. But like just being recognized and stuff like that from people who are like, I know that she's doing better than me because she just always has. Like she's more established, she's been in the business longer, she had previous title experience, she worked at another title company, you know. So like to have people that are really killing it ask me to be like, hey, you got great ideas, you know, like what's
That's
your
really-
perspective?
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you
so
feel good.
It
You're
does.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I can do this. Yeah. I'm not going to cry in the bathroom today.
Right. This week's gonna be a great week. I'm only gonna cry once.
Well, on that note, we're not going to be crying this week.
No.
Unless we're laughing.
Yes. But we hope you guys have a fabulous time, and we'll see you in episode 4.
Yay!
Bye.